Hello, my name is Raul Marca. This is the presentation for Public Health Biology 32800 and gonna talk about cirrhosis. So René Laennec in 1781 to 1826 was the first person to use the term cirrhosis. Me- so this means tawny or brownish yellow, but it's not a simple yellow. In a brief footnote to this, in 1819, there's like about accusalations. John Brown was the first English surgeon who the first described cirrhosis in 1685. So he described this as a liver appearance glandulous. Cirrhosis is the late stage of scarring or fibrosis of the liver, caused for many forms of liver disease and the conditions, such as hepatitis and chronic alcoholism. Each time our liver is injured, whenever by any disease, excessive alcohol or consumption of another causes, is try to repair itself. In that process, scarf tissues in that process they get scarf and tissues form. As the cirrhosis progress, more and more scarf and tissues forms, making it difficult for the liver function to be safe. So that can take an advanced cirrhosis in is life threatening. As I was mentioned, scarring also impairs the liver, like control infections, so try to remove bacteria and toxins from the blood, proceed nutrients, hormones, and drugs. Try to make proteins to regulate blood and clotting. The products built to help absorb the fats, including cholesterol and fat soluble vitamins. vitamins. Cirrhosis is an important public health concern in the United States as a significant source of morbidity and mortality. However, the epidemiology of cirrhosis is incompletely understood. The means of the study were to estimate the prevalence of cirrhosis in the general U.S. populations, so determine characteristics of affect Americans with a focus on health disparities and calculates excess or mortality attribute of to cirrhosis. As we see here in the map, the overall incidence of cirrhosis in the United States is approximately like 360 per thousand population. It is like the 10th leading cause of death in United States, with mortality rate of 9.2 death per 100,000 populations. Of those deaths, 45% were alcohol related. Men are more likely than women to have alcoholic cirrhosis. Worldwide, post-necrotic cirrhosis is the most common in women. Mortally is higher from all types of cirrhosis in men and non-whites. As we see here on the map from the United States, we see like the different states that is more impacted about this mortality. So as we talked about before, so people are more likely to get cirrhosis if they got certain health conditions or like they use like to affect the liver as like use alcohol for many years, have like maybe they can have a viral hepatitis or have diabetes or a lot like obesity, or the person maybe was injecting drugs using sharing needles, or have a history of liver disease or having unprotected sex. Those factors is one of the things that can be a risk of a people that person can be a risk for cirrhosis. So cirrhosis often has no signs or any symptoms until the liver is damaged. Well, it's very, very damaged. So when signs as the symptoms do occur, they might be include like loss of appetite, feeling weak or tired, like have a lot of nausea, fever, and unexpected weight loss. Sometimes they can have a little bit like uh, itchy in the skin, but this is something like when is those symptoms getting a little bit worse. As I mentioned, as a liver function gets worse, other more commonly recognized symptoms of cirrhosis appears, including yellow discoloration in the skin on the skin and the eyes, fluid accumulation in the abdomen, spider blood blast on the skin, redness in the palms on the hands. For women, they can absent or lose the periods is not, and then it's not anything related of a menopause. For men, loss of sex drive, breast enlargement, and or testicular atrophy. Maybe sometimes the people they can feel a little confusion, down downness or slurring speechness. So a few of the complications of cirrhosis can be a portal hypertension. Kinda is the most serious complication of cirrhosis. So hypertension is a condition that occurs when the scar tissues parallelly block and slows the normal flow of the blood through your liver, which causes high blood pressure in the portal vein. Portal hypertension ARESA treatments might be lead to another complications, including enlarged veins, cold, cold varices, or your some of stomach and illness, which can lead internal bleeding if the veins burst. Swelling in your legs, ankles, or feet that can be called edema. Um, can be infections. Cirrhosis can increase your like the chance of getting bacterial infections, um, such as urinary tract infections or pneumonia. Liver cancer. Cirrhosis increase your chance of getting liver cancer. NIH external. Most people who develop liver cancers already have cirrhosis. Liver failure. Cirrhosis might eventually lead to liver failure with a liver failure. It's badly damaged to the spots working. Liver failure is also called the end of the stage on the stage of liver disease. This might require liver transplant. So doctors don't have a specific treatment that can cure cirrhosis. However, they can treat many of the diseases that cause cirrhosis. Some of the diseases that can cause cirrhosis can be cured. So they can be treated under the causes of cirrhosis, maybe keep the your cirrhosis from the getting worse and help prevent liver failure. So any successful treatment might be slow the improvement from some of the liver scarring. The doctor will be recommend what or the person they need to stop, like any activity they need to stop, such as drinking alcohol or taking certain medicines that can be affect the cirrhosis, or maybe that can get a little bit worse. So to reduce the risk of cirrhosis, we can take this kind of those steps so you can care like your liver. So don't drink alcohol if you have cirrhosis. If you have or if you have any liver disease, you should avoid alcohol. Eat healthy. Get some like good diet. Choose plant-based diet that can full like fruits, vegetables, um, people they can select grains or learn more like about like different proteins, so that can reduce the amount of fatty on the fried foods that the person can eat. People they can so people they need to maintain health weight. So sometimes if you get too much weight, can be damage of your liver. We have to always talk to about your doctor how we can lose weight. We don't have to make those type of diets if you can do those types of diets because we need to consult to the doctor, because if we don't eat the specific food that can affect our body. um, to reduce the risk of hepatitis, we people, they need to stop sharing needles or having unprotected sex. So all those days can be a risk to get hepatitis B and C, and that can affect to get a cirrhosis. So after this presentation, I have a few questions. What is the definition of cirrhosis? What are the normal functions of the liver that are typically impaired in cirrhosis? What are some of the classic signs of cirrhosis? In the United States, what are the most common causes of cirrhosis? What is the most important lifestyle modification in an individual with cirrhosis? So for question one, the response is cirrhosis is a relevant hepatic injury that characterized by fibrosis and disruptions of the normal hepatic architecture. Response for number two, production of proteins such as albumin or clotting factors, filtering of blood, metabolism of bilirubin and toxins. Question number three, the classic signs of cirrhosis includes acetates, portal hypertension, jaundice, or encephalopathy. Question for number Response for number four, alcoholism is the chronic and achronic hepatitis C. And the last question or response is complete abstinence from alcohol. So this is my reference list. So I hope like this presentation get most of the information about cirrhosis. So most important part of this is we have to take care of our own self. We have to eat healthy. We have to make exercise and try to avoid alcohol, because as we know, alcohol, they can affect your livers, and your livers after that you can get cirrhosis. Just get those recommendations and try to get more healthy. Thank you so much for this.